This is the nonprofit that I started, Northeast Nebraska Suicide Prevention Coalition. So I lost my son in March of '09, and in May of 2010, I said, okay, why did this happen to me? What am I supposed to be doing? And I got really, really quiet. And I said, Creator, what am I supposed to do with this? And boy, did he talk to me loud and clear. He says, all right, lady, here we go. Never, ever, 13 years ago, would I imagine I'd be in Michigan talking this. My life back then, no. I was just going to be a farm wife and thought I was going to have lots of grandkids. Yeah, I'm traveling all over the place and I have 0 grandkids. I lost everything, you guys. Everything. But there's a reason why you're to do what you do. There's a purpose for it. So, got together with a couple people, started my nonprofit. Next slide. We're going to watch a couple videos because, again, I am a person that learns by visually seeing things. So you were asking earlier, well, what can we do? We got to have like action steps on how to like really have suicide prevention, right? So this is from the Ad Council. It's called Awkward Conversations. These aren't fun to have in life. They're really hard. But here's an example of how to have an awkward conversation. Oh.
Uh-oh. Sorry, technical.
That's okay. Whoop. Back. There we go. Click on that little arrow, the middle. Nope.
Oh, it's so, yeah. I think we might have to open it on YouTube.
Okay.
Ah.
Okay, back. We're gonna exit out. I'll try that. There we go.
I'm Danny.
I'm so sorry.
I've lived with depression and anxiety for about 12 years, and today I'm going to be opening up about those mental health challenges with some complete strangers in the hopes that we can start normalizing conversations about mental health. Hi, I'm Danny. Nice to meet you. I'm Colleen. It's nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
I'm doing really good. Yeah.
Doing good. Yourself?
I'm actually not doing so well today.
Okay, that's honest.
Is that right?
Okay. So,
Yeah. Okay, what's going on?
can you tell me a little bit more about it? Do you feel comfortable to know about it? Or
Yeah, I can talk about it. So I've been living with depression for a long time, and this week has been particularly hard for me. So a lot of people simply just don't know what to say and what to do when somebody opens up to them about a mental health or addiction challenge. And that's really where mental health first aid can be valuable. It teaches people a concrete action plan for starting a conversation and getting somebody the support that they need, whether that's treatment or just a non-judgmental listening ear. So was it a little unexpected when I responded that I wasn't doing well at seeing complete strangers until this moment?
I'll be honest, it caught me off guard. You just expect the automatic response of, how are you doing? I'm good.
When you first meet someone, here there's like a huge distance.
I always feel like, how can I help someone else? So, and I know it's hard because you just want to be like, oh, sorry, okay, let me run,
And I don't think people do it because they're inconsiderate. I think it's because they honestly just don't know what to say.
Have you talked to anyone about this? Sometimes I just don't want to burden. Yeah, I know it feels like that, but most of the time people want to help. Like everyone kind of wants to be useful to other people, so they want to help you. So don't feel like you're burdening them. That was really I like totally wanted to give you a hug, but I was like, that's fucking weird. But no, that was like exactly like what you should have said.
Myself, I was thinking like, okay, this person is in need of help. try your best. Listen to them. Sometimes that's the best thing you can do is just listen.
You know, if you had cancer, you wouldn't just try to you wouldn't will yourself to get better with that. And so I think that, I hope that people just start talking about it more.
Wouldn't it be refreshing if we could take off the mask?
Yes, absolutely. Be real people.
So how did you learn how to respond that way?
My father committed suicide when I was young, and it was like a really pivotal change. And I think I spent most of my life trying to avoid that and avoid talking about that and like the shame and the guilt. So I really made this decision to like learn how to interact with people and be empathetic and show people that someone does care about me if I don't know you. I think people should just ask more questions, because it's like once you get to know the person and understand that it could literally be any of us, like any of us could have this at any point in our lives. It just, how could you make a judgment on it?
Can I give you a hug?
Well, absolutely.
Thank you.
Do you guys know what mental health first aid is? Do you guys offer it here? Fabulous. Awesome. I'm a trainer in that as well. So we don't have a problem talking about like, oh my God, I got my hip replaced and that doctor was awesome, or I got new heart meds and you need to go see that doc, he's awesome. But for some reason, we don't want to say that, man, that counselor was the bomb, you need to go see them. Or my new antidepressant, man, it's right on the mark. What is the big deal? If we can talk about knee replacements, hip surgeries, then let's talk about this organ also. We need to stop whispering and gossiping about it. It's okay. Seriously, it's okay. And sometimes I love that you mentioned too, you know, a psychiatrist, man, that costs money. I can only see a therapist. Sometimes you don't even need a therapist, honestly. Having a person to talk to. Do our kids know that they can come and talk to us? I mean, talk about anything, because the youth that I work with, I work under a Garrett Lee Smith grant at the Winnebago Tribe of Nebraska, and I work with 10 to 24-year-olds. I always tell them my story, because they always ask about my tattoo. I'll tell them. They don't need to know the specifics of how my son died. They need to know that he struggled and he wouldn't help himself. That's what they need to know. So we've got to get it across to our kids. You got to talk. Now, if it's not to grandma, auntie, whatever, you find somebody else. You find a trusted adult that you can talk to. And talk openly and honestly about everything. Because our two-spirit youth in our tribes, oh, these poor kids, they struggle. Well, who am I? What's my identity? Where do I fit in? Well, yeah, come talk to me. It's all right. I said, I'm that fluffy auntie that you can talk to about anything. Next video. So there again, you'll have to like arrow out. This one is really quick.
Awkward. Do I look familiar? I should. You might remember me from here. Here. Or maybe even here.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
It'd actually be a perfect moment to reach out to a friend and ask if they're okay if they seem down.
Doesn't matter, I'd say.
It's alright.
Everything's okay.
Oh, gee.
Alright, girl. You cool?
Dog and dog.
Just show you're there for them. Go on, Kelly. Susie, awkward.
Hey, you haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org. How to know if you should reach out to a friend. Your friend might be.
It's not rocket science, you guys. Again, you hit the nail on the head earlier. It's communication. Just talk. but I'm here. How many of us slow down enough to do that with other human beings? Again, and put this away when you're having that conversation. Give them your full and undivided attention. The next video I love because it's called Brave. This is on a website too from We Are Native, Thrive. This hits a nail on the head for our youth. Please utilize this video as much as possible when you are working with youth. Because this shows the reality of what our kiddos are going through.
I grew up on the res in a small house in the middle of nowhere. My mom, she worked at the Aihfs clinic. My dad was never really there. I played all throughout high school and I got a lot of offers from a bunch of different colleges, but I didn't want to leave my friends and I didn't want to leave the res. We'd celebrate when we won and we'd get pretty faded when we lost. I was partying hard back then. My dad never missed a party. He'd always show up for a beer and he would just get lit and two at a hand. And my mom would try to cut him off, but he wouldn't be having it. Me and my homie Benny, we started uploading stupid videos on IG and YouTube.
My grandparents bought me a phone for my birthday, and I made videos with it. At first, it was a bunch of videos of me just messing around. I got a lot of views for it, and people around the res started following me. This is how I met Alex. He was my biggest fan. I grew up on the roads with my dad, my mom, and my two sisters. My dad is a very successful person. He's on the Tribal Economic Development Council and has a lot of community service awards. When I was younger, my dad pushed me to be successful like him. I tried to live up to my dad's expectations, but that stuff wasn't for me. We made a lot of videos together, just messing around. He was really popular at the time.
I would just get wasted and he would film me and we'd just be doing stupid stuff. It started to get really popular, especially the ones with the fights.
He always had friends around, and later on those friends became my friends too. They'd do stupid stuff and ask me to film it.
He filmed me doing a cake stand once. I remember because that was the first night I saw Chris for the first time.
My name is Chris. I am 22 years old. This is the only photo I have of my mother. I don't really remember much about her, but she had a great smile and the color of her hair, but that's it. My grandmother adopted me when I was 4. She lived on the res all her life, but wanted me to have better opportunities, so we moved into town. She never missed a day of church. I think she didn't want me to grow up like my mom, so even when I was young, she had a lot of rules for me to follow. No eating after 6, bedtime by 8, keep your shoes by the door, rewards do not come without hard work. Every day, thank the Creator for all that you are given. Don't let anyone make you believe you are less than because you are Native or a woman. Be a benefit to your people. Every day I would go to school, then come straight home to study. Sometimes I hung out with friends or listened to music, but otherwise my life was pretty boring. And then one night, my friend asked me to go to a party. I started to say no, but then I said yes.
She was just really cute and really different. She caught my eye from the beginning.
I remember how he smiled and how he handed me my drink. He made me laugh and he was so sweet and everyone seemed to look up to him. I started spending a lot of time with him, going out to parties, drinking, having fun.
We hit it off that night and we began to chill and we got real serious. Serious enough, I guess, to where she started to tell me what to do. She tried to get me to stop drinking.
That's your 8th cup. No, you get ugly when you get drunk. Stop.
She tried, but I was out of control.
Alex was my first boyfriend. He took me on my first date, was my first kiss, and there were a lot of firsts with him. He became a big part of my life, and that's probably why it was so hard to leave him. I focused on my studies after the incident with Alex. I kept my mind occupied: science, biology, anatomy, contusions, which is the clotting of red blood cells in areas that experience trauma.
After Chris left, everything in my life just started to spiral down. I drank when I was happy, I drank when I was sad, I drank to numb the darker thoughts, like when I wanted to take my own life. I was out of control, and I don't remember much of that day when I was arrested, but I do remember the cop, and I do remember his face, and I remember the laughter. I remember when I was laying on the ground, and he looked at me and he said, "Look at you, just like your old man."
I never thought he would do something like that, but he did. I knew I needed to talk to Alex, and the basketball court was always the best place for it. And I knew it was going to be hard, but I finally found the words to say. It didn't quite go as I imagined, but I knew I needed to talk to a pro.
Hello, crisis line.
I have a friend who needs help. I don't know what to do.
Thanks for reaching out. What has you worried?
He's depressed, drinking tons. It's getting bad. I don't know what to do.
He's lucky to have a friend like you. Have you talked to him about your concerns?
He won't listen. I've tried.
Well, starting a conversation like this can be hard, but it might help him to see things from your perspective. Have you thought about what you will say to him?
I want to let him know that he's out of control. And I'm worried he's going to hurt himself or someone else.
Well, that's a great start. When our friends are struggling, it can be tough. Have you talked to anyone else about this?
No.
Well, that's okay. Sometimes it's hard to reach out for help. I'm glad we're getting to talk today. Is there an adult in your life who you trust, who can be there for you when you're helping your friend?
My mom, she understands.
Great. Let's come up with some ideas about what you can say to your friend. And please, know we are here for you anytime.
By the time I got home, I knew what I had to do. I told Alex that the alcohol and partying needed to stop. And it was hurting our lives and the people we cared about.
It wasn't easy to forget him. My counselor told me that it wasn't my fault, and she had said that I was in an unhealthy relationship. I already knew that, but it was the first time I heard it said out loud. After 3 sessions, I was finally able to say it to myself that I'm a survivor. I kept myself busy enough to keep my mind off of Alex. With each passing day, the sting of what he did began to fade. I was able to laugh again, to smile. I remember my aunties came over one night and we made dinner together. We made fry bread. They hugged me as aunties do. They laughed as aunties do. They were so funny and they made me feel connected, like everything was how it should be.
The judge was lenient. He gave me community service and recommended counseling. It's not too bad. Our counselor, he's a pretty cool guy. I know I was in a bad spot, hiding behind a bottle, blaming others, blaming circumstances. I know now what I did was wrong, but I'm making amends. I learned to take responsibility for my choices and accept who I am. Things are better now, thanks to a good friend who stuck with me, and a community and a culture who's helping make all the difference. I am hopeful.
I love coming home. I have been away at med school for far too long. The res has its problems, but there's nothing like how it feels to be here and how it feels to be connected. Alex is doing great. He apologized for what he did, but that didn't change much between us. But I'm glad he's doing better. In fact, we're all doing better, and in the end, I guess that's all that really matters.
I used to think likes on my channel meant that I had friends, but real friends spend time with each other and look out for each other. Real friends are, well, they're real. We nearly lost sight of what was important. We almost lost Alex, but we're fighting back. I'm building a better world for our people, and it feels good to know that I'm contributing to our future. And I know in the end it'll be all right. I show my community now the way I want it to be seen.
This video before? Anybody? No? Use this, utilize it as much as possible. If you work with youth at all, show them this video, because again, love the counselors. I think everybody should need counseling, myself, but it's one true friend. How many of us can say that we are that good a friend to call them out? Sometimes having that awkward, honest conversation like, dude, hey, we gotta talk. It's hard. Next slide. Is everyone aware of the texting hotline number? 741-741-24/7. I usually do this in trainings too. I tried it once. It's awesome. They will get back to you like right away. An hour after the training, they're texting me back. Hey, are you okay? Yep, just did a training. Next day, they text me again. Checking back. Are you okay? It's a for real deal. Any word to 741-741. Because again, our kids, this is part of their arm. They'd much rather do this than actually talk to somebody. Next slide. Again, today, woohoo! 988. Got it going. So excited. Next. And again, the suicide hotline number. It's going to take a while for 988 to get truly implemented. So still do the 1-800-273-TALK, 1-800-273-8255. Press 1 for veterans. There is Spanish in there. Also, my email address, my work address, my phone number. Anybody can talk to me anytime. Again, that's why I'm here. Creator brought me here for a reason.